Well, you couldn't ask for a more perfect day for baseball. We are outside the Big A. It is game number 2 of the 3-game set between the Angels and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everyone. Victor Rojas along with Mark Goobs and plenty of Angel fans on hand here. The Angels trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. That's right, 6-game losing streak, trying to avoid the longest losing streak since 2002. We're done talking about the offense. We're going to talk about pitching tonight. Yoel Pinheiro going after win number 100 once again.
Well, Pinheiro's got to get back to where he was in the past, working that power sinker. He's going to have to establish a fastball, whether it be a cut fastball or two-seam fastball, inside of the left-handers. Left-handers having a lot of success against him. Get inside and then work that pitch down in the strike zone, get ground ball after ground ball, take the pressure off the offense, throw up some zeros early in the ball game, and all of a sudden get that lead and get the momentum going and win 100.
Well, Yoel's going to have to limit that Royals offense. He has given up 40 hits over the last 4 starts. He's facing Felipe Paulino of the Kansas City Royals. Just about ready for baseball here at the Big A, so sit back and relax. We've got lineups and first pitch when we return. Brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee.
See your Hyundai dealer for details. By CarMax, now more than ever the smart choice is CarMax. And by Shakey's. Win a pizza party for 10. Go to Shakey's.com.
Back here at the Big A, we finally made our way back up to the broadcast booth, trying to mix it up a little bit, changing up the mojo. Game number 2 of this 3-game set against Kansas City. The lineup that Ned Yost is running out there, pretty much the same lineup that he had out there in last night's game. Alex Gordon left, Melky Cabrera in center, Eric Hosmer at first base, Jeff Francoeur is in right. He's the cleanup hitter. Billy Butler at DH, Mike Moustakas at third base, Matt Trader, local product, behind the plate, Chris Getz at second, Alcides Escobar batting ninth, and playing shortstop, taking on Yoel Pinheiro. 2-3 mark at a 3.76 ERA.
Boy, he struggled to get that win number 100 in his career, but look for him to work down in the strike zone and establish the fastball inside to lefties to keep them honest, because they've had some success against them hitting from the left side. 345 on the season, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, a little different Pinheiro than we've seen last season. This one is down a left field line and out of play. And I mean that from the standpoint of, obviously he had the issues early on in spring training with the shoulder, starting the season on the disabled list. But the sinker that we grew so accustomed to seeing last season, that off the table type of sinker, quite haven't seen it. We've seen glimpses of it, but we haven't seen it on a consistent basis yet. Ground ball to second base. Nicer stirs to Howie Kendrick, and there is the first out. We'll finish that thought in just a minute to give you the Angels defensively. Abreu in left, Wells in center, Hunter in right. It's Callasco and Ivar on the left side. This Sturris and Kendrick on the right side, and Jeff Mathis behind the dish.
And Howie Kendrick should be very busy in that first base position, not only getting throws across the diamond, but also the left-handers trying to pull that sinker. Look for him to go to the backhand quite often in the game to be able to make that play. Very athletic, getting those sinkers and ground balls throughout the game.
Melky Cabrera takes a curveball for a strike.
Yeah, and back to what you were talking about, Victor. Yeah, a lot of his sink is more of lateral movements than that hard dashing moment down below the strike zone, almost like a split finger fastball. That's what you want out of him, too, to stay up on top of that pitch and work down. Put all that pressure on the middle finger. That's how you're able to get that sink down on the fastball. When you're able to do that, you can keep him honest all throughout the game, but to throw something in, just make him aware of it at some point during the game.
Ahead of the count on Melky Cabrera. No balls, 2 strikes. The breaking pitch, a swing and a miss, and down goes Cabrera. Mathis will throw on to first to complete the strikeout. And through the first 2 batters, it appears as if the mindset for Pinheiro is going to be, I'm going to bust out the curveball. If it's going to work, I'm going to keep these guys off balance.
Yeah, a lot of times during the season so far for him, he starts breaking out that pitch as the game progresses. It's a good idea to get that established early on to give those hitters another pitch to think about. That was a very good 12-6 type breaking ball for Pinheiro, getting his first punch out of the game.
Well, here's Eric Hosmer, the first baseman. Went 0 for 4 last night, hitting an even 300, 5 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Hosmer takes the off-speed pitch in for a strike. The mindset you would think, especially for a sinker baller, if he's getting just that lateral movement, is to overthrow it, overcompensate, and that actually just makes things worse for sinker ballers. Hosmer rolls this one foul, it's 0-2.
And I lived throughout the majority of my career as a sinker ball pitcher myself, so a lot of times, especially against lefties, I had a difficult time as far as if I got him to swing at that pitch early, I would get a lot of ground balls to second base, but if they laid off that pitch and forced me in the middle part of the plate with the sink, that's when they were able to time it and drive it well. It's not until I established a cut fastball inside on lefties that I was able to get that after that pitch, work that sinker, whether it's inside or away, and get a lot of easy outs.
Fastball bounced up the middle. Pinheiro's got it. Fires at the first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the first here at the Big A with the Sturris, Hunter, and Abreu, 2 up for the Angels with no score.
With no score, let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup. Meister Sturris leading things off. He'll be playing second base. Torrey Hunter in right. Bobby Abreu in left. Vernon Wells, the cleanup hitter tonight, playing center field. Alberto Cayasso back in the lineup after a night off last night. He's at third. Howie Kendrick at first base. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Russell Brania gets a start at DH in the 8th spot. And Jeff Mathis doing the catching, batting ninth. Taking on Felipe Paulino. The Angels very familiar with Paulino, who got his first start of the season in the American League against the Angels and actually threw the ball very well.
5 shutout innings for Paulino. He's got a good fastball, 91 to 95, good slider, and a very solid changeup too. Not particularly quick to the plate, so the bottom line is when you get on base, you have to press the issue and try to steal some bases.
There's a strike on Sturris. It's 2-1. Meister went 1 for 4 yesterday. Average at 291, 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. That misses outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. In that start against the Angels, his first, that was on June the 1st. Went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 4, walked nobody, and threw 71 pitches. A full count now. Guy originally in the Astros organization, got traded to the Rockies for Clint Barmas, and then claimed on waivers by Kansas City. Sturris fouling it back, so the count remains at 3-2. 4th overall appearance as we take a look at his overall numbers with Houston, 4-20 record. Earlier this year was with the Rockies, pointed out, but all out of the bullpen. Sturris skying this one to left. Alex Gordon drifting back a couple of steps, puts it away, and there's the first out. The Royals defensively tonight have Gordon in left, Cabrera in center, Francoeur in right. It's Moustakas, Escobar, Getz, and Hosmer around the infield from third to first. Matt Trainer is doing the catching.
And Chris Getz in that second base position has done a nice job for them defensively. We saw him go back very well on pop-ups. 4th in the AL in fielding percentage. Very good as far as going to the glove side. Turned the double play very accurate too. Quick hands at that second base position.
Torrey looks at a fastball for a strike. Went 1 for 4 last night. Little 4-game hitting streak for Torrey, but still at 238. That fastball's a little bit high at 96 according to the gun here. Hunter with 8 home runs and 32 runs batted in. He's got 10 doubles and 1 triple. Take a look at our Hyundai key to the game for tonight.
Victor, I'm going a little motley crew. Going to Mike Scioscia for Dr. Feelgood. He's try to go out and establish this lineup. He's changed it around, giving the guys the best opportunity possible to do so.
Torrey shooting one out to deep right field. Francoeur near the base of the wall will make the catch for the second out. So 2 fly ball outs for Felipe Paulino. That'll bring up Bobby Abreu.
Mike Scioscia changing the lineup once again, trying to find that formula where it's going to be consistent, putting the pressure on the opponents, as far as whether it on the mound or when they get on base to force the issue as far as stealing some bags.
Bobby hitting 289 after the 1 for 4 performance last night. Couple of home runs, 29 runs batted in. Bumps back up to the 3 hole. Paulino delivers a strike. Abreu with 17 doubles on the season. Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobby in the top 10 with those 17 doubles. He's 4th overall in on-base percentage at an even 400. Lifts this one out toward left center field. Cabrera curls around, now comes in. Makes a catch of 3 fly ball outs for the Angels as Paulino retires the side in order. 1 of the books, we have no score.
Baseball is brought to you by your local Mazda dealer.
Top of the second with no score. Pinheiro and Paulino both with 1, 2, 3 innings. Pinheiro picking up a strikeout. That was of Cabrera in the first. Facing Francoeur, Butler, and Moustakas here in the second inning. Francoeur takes a strike. 0 for 4 last night was Frenchie. Hitting .276 with 9 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Pulls this one to third. Callaspo to his left. There's out number 1.
A good sign early on. 3 ground ball outs so far for Pinheiro. Nice play by Callaspo going to the glove side. Fields it, makes a strong throw to get Francoeur to get that first out, which is always the important one. Mike Butcher's always, we've talked about this a number of times before games, how the importance of getting that first guy out. It allows you so many opportunities to be able to get through an inning easier. And Pinheiro's been throwing nothing but strikes. 10 straight strikes for Pinheiro so far after the first pitch of the game was out of the zone.
Billy Butler takes a curveball for a strike. Butler had a home run yesterday, his 6th of the year. And in that point in the game, made it a 2-0 Royals lead against Irvin Santana, who went on to take a loss, his 6th of the year. Irvin working 7 innings, striking out 5, walking 5. Jeff Francis ended up picking up the W, his 3rd, and 2nd against the Angels. 6 in the 3rd. 2 runs on 8 hits.
Nice job of sinking that fastball. Established the fastball inside. His curveball was very good, and so was his arm speed on his changeup.
There's Irvin. It wasn't until later on in the game we realized he was settling in, especially with that slider. Finding it. It was almost a struggle for him throughout the game, trying to find that crisp slider that we've seen.
Yeah, we were talking about how he was getting underneath on that. Just like similar for Pinheiro as far as working down with the sinker. His slider getting underneath, but then he got on top as the game progressed. And that great snap action on the slider.
2-2, a liner to center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. First hit of the game goes to Billy Butler and the Royals. 1 out, 1 on brings up Mike Moustakas. Fans, the Angels host the Washington Nationals on June 28th at 7:05, and all fans in attendance will receive a Dan Herron bobblehead courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or by logging on to angels.com. Disco Dan approves.
Yes, he does. It's one of the better bobbleheads we've seen.
Moustakas takes outside for ball 1. Made his major league debut last night. Ended up going 1 for 3. Scored his first run. 2nd overall pick in 2007 at Chatsworth High School. Pops this one up. Left side of the infield. Eric Ibar calls off Alberto Callaspo. 2 outs.
Good communication there for Ibar. Much easier play for the shortstop. A lot of times you see either a shortstop or second baseman take control on pop-ups over to third baseman or first baseman because an easier movement going to be able to pick that ball off and make the play. It's all about talking to each other, though.
So Butler's still at first with 2 outs, and here's Matt Trainer. It's kind of been the rotation for the Royals with Pena and Trainer alternating in starts. Matt hitting just .216, a couple of home runs, 8 runs batted in. Pulls this one right to Callaspo. That will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and the Royals leave a man on. We're to the bottom of the second with no score. Setting up Wells, Callaspo, and Kendrick. The Halos have lost 6 in a row, but have a chance to pick up a game in the American League West. Started the day 6 back, but Texas dropping one to the Minnesota Twins. But 8-1, Scott Baker, complete game for the Minnesota Twins. He threw the ball well against the Angels.
Yeah, he had that 5-0 lead that game against the Angels, but the Angels came back and eventually won that game against the Twins in that bullpen.
Vernon takes outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So an opportunity to pick up a game and snap this losing streak. Vernon last night 1 for 3. 179 on the year. Check swing on the slider. Did not go. Greg Gibson over at first. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Vernon with 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in, 3 doubles, 1 triple. Bounces one toward the middle, and that's a base hit in the center. So the Angels, just like the Royals, get their first hit of the game in the 2nd inning. Brings up Alberto Callaspo. Fans, follow the Angels at foxsportswest.com/Angels. Log on and catch Joe McDonald's take on whether the Bartolo Colon surgery could become the new Tommy John surgery. Be sure to vote for the Angels poll question. What is your favorite side for future Angels broadcast? The rocks behind home plate, the right field patio, or stay in the booth? Stay in the booth, 43%.
Still winning.
Yeah. How about the hats? How about out front?
Well, if we win tonight, which we fully expect that to happen, we might have to do it.
We might have to go back out there.
Oh, there's no question.
Well, Alberto Callaspo with a day off. No balls in a strike.
Yeah, we'll have to go back out there. No
Showing
problem.
off the fancy backdrop. You know why? Because the man, the myth, the legend, the guy they call a pop sensation, Tayo Cruz, will be joining us in the top of the 3rd inning. You've got your questions all lined up?
Oh, yeah. No question.
I can't believe after all this time that you have not used a Tayo Cruz song.
We did use one.
I know
we did. We did use one.
I just want to see your reaction.
No, I don't know if it worked real well, so we'll have to ask him why it didn't work for us that game.
We understand that he may not be a huge baseball fan. He's from the UK, so
he will be after he leaves here.
Yeah. Huge football fan. Soccer, football. Callaspo lays off with that one. It's 2 balls and a strike.
We'll talk about David Beckham, how you and him roll together. You guys are good buddies.
Yeah. Alberto did get in the game last night, even though it was as a pinch hitter, struck out. Hitting .289. He's 0 for 12 on the homestand. Quick throw over. Vernon back safely.
And Paulino not real fast to the plate. He's got a quick move to first. He's allowed 3 stolen bases against him. No one's been caught yet. Good action count here, a 2-1 count. Callaspo handles the bat well. Vernon Wells with pretty good speed at first base.
Vernon takes off. Callaspo slaps it foul. Vernon got a pretty good jump at first. He'll head back.
He got a real good jump.
Matt Tranter's thrown out 10 of 34. Would be base stealers. Two-two, bouncer to second. Gets, bobbles it, throws to second base, and safe at second. And Chris Getz just committed his 4th error of the season.
What happened was for Getz there, he was anticipating having an easy double play, trying to flip the ball to short before he had it in his glove at that particular point. And still had time to be able to get Callaspo at first base, but tried to get the lead runner, Vernon Wells, and Vernon just barely got his foot in.
I'm very surprised, in fact, right there in that situation, that he was looking to flip the baseball to Alcides Escobar. That's typically one of those plays as a second baseman. You keep charging to freeze the runner going between first and second base, but Getz laid back on it. Vernon never stopped running, and that hustle eventually got him to second base as Getz makes the error. Howie, showing bunt, takes inside. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. He did not go.
These are one of those opportunities now for the Angels to capitalize on a mistake made by this Kansas City club. Has been pretty solid defensively. Getz in particular, 4th best fielding percentage for a second baseman in the American League. Doesn't make many mistakes. You have to jump on this opportunity.
slider outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The Angels last night 3 for 6 with men in scoring position. Of course, that was helped out by the fact that the Angels collected 4 consecutive hits, 5 total hits in that 6th inning, but only managed 2 runs.
Good count to drive a fastball for Howie here.
Showing bunt, pushes it up the first base line. Tough play for Paulino's going to let it go, and it is foul.
That baseball doesn't roll foul too often down the lines here at the Big A. It looked like he was bunting on his own there, Howie. It wasn't like it was a design play. If you're Mike Socha there, you want Howie swinging away 2-0, and you're going to get a good fastball. That was a good fastball to crush. You can understand, because the club has been struggling to score, you're trying to do your part to advance base runner to put him in scoring position.
Moustakas playing in at third base. It's still a good hitter's count of 2 balls and a strike. Vernon at second. Cayaspo at first. Two-one pitch. Howie gets jammed, shoots it into right field, a base hit. Vernon, a late start, just trying to make sure that that baseball got through. He wasn't sure that it was not going to be caught. So he froze between second and third. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Ibar coming to the plate.
Boy, great approach for Howie again. Got a good fastball, 2-1. The count got jammed enough, but still, the approach was to try to hit the ball to the right side. By doing so, gets the base hit and advances the base runners. Well, that was right in on his kitchen, but still so strong to fight that off and go the other way with an inside-out swing for Howie Kendrick. And Vernon's not going to take a chance there. You know, he will not send him home there, especially with Frank Core, with that arm strength he has in that right field position.
Coupled with that late start, so he's at third. Cayaspo at second, Kendrick at first. Here's Ibar. A 1-for-4 average. A 1-for-4 night last night, a 296 average overall. Takes a breaking pitch for a strike. 3 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Eric Ibar hitting .350 in these scenarios. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss, down and in. And that was kind of what we talked about yesterday about the guys in these situations. All of a sudden,
they expand the strike zone.
Expanding the strike zone.
You got to center into a spot where you can drive the ball, particularly in the air. You don't want to avoid the ground ball here. You want to hit the ball in the air. It's going to be difficult when you're swinging at breaking pitches or changeups in the dirt. Impossible to elevate those pitches.
Ibar this year with the bases loaded, 1-for-5, 4 runs batted in. The 0-2 upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vernon Wells started it off with a base hit into center. Cayaspo grounded the ball to second. It looked like a surefire double play, but misplayed by Getz. And then Howie Kendrick with a base hit to right, loading him up. Nobody out. One-two pitch, pulled up the line. That's a fair ball heading into the corner. Wells is in. Cayaspo will score. Being waved around is Howie Kendrick. Ibar's going to try to go to third. He is in there, standing up with a bases clearing triple. Angels on top 3-0.
Boy, that opportunity to get some runs early for the starting pitcher and Pinero in particular tonight. And Eric Ibar takes advantage of a pitch. It wasn't located exactly where Paulino wanted to do it. He wanted it down in the dirt, but this got a little bit too much elevation. And Eric Ibar hit a rocket straight down the line. Boy, Trainer wanted that pitch down in the dirt. Eric had swung through that pitch earlier, but this time was up too high around knee level. And hit it by Hosmer, who's very good as far as fielding position at first base. Got it by him.
The triple for Ibar, his third of the year, and the 3 RBIs gives him 24. Kansas City bringing their infield in now against Russell Brandon. First pitch is a fastball away, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Getz making the mistake on the bobble on the ground ball off the bat of Alberto Callaspo. Branyan a swing and a miss. Paulino taking something off the fastball. The count is even at 1-1. Russell Branyan 3 for 25 as a member of the Angels. 120 overall, 1 RBI. He's got a man at third base. It's 2-1 now. And Paulino, from this start, seems to have gone to the off-speed pitch more often than that of the last start, where he was featuring a pretty good fastball. He's got a pretty good fastball as far as velocity is concerned.
Very good fastball, good movement too.
2-1 pitch outside, 3 balls and a strike. See him lining up the radar gun.
And finally, the Angels able to score first. So allows the pitcher to be more aggressive on the mound, not worry about if he makes that one mistake, will he lose the game because of that mistake.
3-1 pitch. Branyan lays off of that. Did he go? He did. Todd Titchener making the call. Full count.
Number of changeups. That time a breaking ball.
Payoff pitch. Branyan lifting one, fouling out of play on the left side. Men in black tonight. Jerry Davis, the veteran behind the plate. You saw Greg Gibson earlier at first base. Sam Holbrook, just a fantastic name for a Western. He's at second. Todd Titchener over at third base.
Sam Holbrook.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic.
He should be wearing cowboy boots.
Maybe he does, as soon as the game's over.
3-2. Outside, he walked him. So Branyan's on board via the walk. First issued by Paulino. The Angels with runners at the corners here as Bob McClure, the pitching coach, is going to pay a visit. 5 batters in this inning against Paulino. 5 have reached.
I got to believe Bob's telling him right now, let's go back to the fastball. You have good fastball at 93 to 95. A lot of changeups, a lot of sliders.
How much does that take away if you're a guy that's got a pretty good fastball, when you rely more so on the off-speed stuff to try to get back locked in with location on the fastball? Because it's obviously not going to affect velocity.
It becomes more difficult because most times when you have a good fastball, and that's your primary pitch to get outs, you establish that, stay with it until they make adjustments against you. Then you start mixing in the changeup, the curveball, and slider. But if you've already went away from your fastball, it's a different grip, a different arm action. It becomes more of a problem to be able to get back in the strike zone with the fastball. You saw that running fastball way away from Branyan before he ended up walking him here.
Jeff Mathis steps in, takes a fastball for a strike. The Royals will take the double play, give up the run, as long as the ball is hit to the middle infield. Moustakas is playing in at third base. Jeff hitting .204 with a home run and 10 runs batted in. Fouling that one straight back, and it's 0-2. By the way, that walk by Russell Branyan, the first as a member of the Angels.
See that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Obviously, when McClure went out to him and said, hey, listen, let's reestablish that pitch. Again, if you're a good fastball thrower, especially with good movement, you stay with that pitch. If you get outs with it, you don't have to try to trick a hitter. Stay with it and then make adjustments.
Mathis went around on the breaking pitch. There's out number 1. First strikeout for Paulino. Spins the lineup back to the top, and Meister Sturz coming up.
Big run to third base for the Angels right here. You want to keep adding on. Be satisfied with the 3 runs you've already scored. You have an opportunity to break the game open. Get to the bullpen of the Royals early on. A day game tomorrow. Get them expended out of the bullpen.
Little breaking pitch fouled off the foot of his Sturz. No balls in his strike. Meister hit a fly ball to left field the first inning. The Angels will take that right now. The Nybar at third base in a 3-0 lead. Eric with a bases-loaded triple. Third of the season. Putting the halo. Branyan takes off his Sturris. Skies went out to center. It's going to be deep enough to score. Eric Ibar as Melky makes the catch. Here comes Ibar. It's a sacrifice fly for Meisler Sturris. 4-0 Angels.
And I also like the fact that Mike Sturris had the base runner going there. For what it does for a hitter, it makes you track the baseball all the way through and think of contact, not swinging through, try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Nothing but contact. And that's what Meisler was able to do, get the sacrifice fly to center field to bring that fourth run across.
Sturris picking up his 17th run batted in. 2 outs now. Branyan still at first, and here's Torrey Hunter. Torrey swinging first pitch slider, and it's 0-1. Mike Scioscia breathing a sigh of relief, but he wants more than 4 runs.
He'll take 5, 6, 7, 8, get everyone swinging throughout the entire lineup.
Torrey fouling it off to the right. Last time the Angels scored 4 or more runs was back on Memorial Day in Kansas City. That was that 10-8 victory. Come from behind job in the 9th inning against Joaquin Soria. Kevin Jepson picked up the win in that. Torrey goes down, swinging second, strike into the game for Paulino, but the Angels send 8 men to the plate. They score 4 times. 2 of the books. Angels lead it 4-0. A 4-0. You see the sign on the outfield wall. It's been there for a long time. We've been talking about it. That is tonight after the game. Tayo Cruz in concert after the ball game. Kind enough to join us in the booth. Pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for joining us here in the booth.
Thank you for having me in the booth. Hey, look, I can see myself on the TV.
You like that? It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's why we tell them to put us on camera all the time, just so we can check ourselves out.
Okay, it's like your personal mirror.
There's no doubt. It's the only way to roll, right?
Right.
You're a pop sensation. You're used to this kind of world, aren't you?
I am, but this is crazy because I'm at a stadium right now and so many people here. It's a beautiful thing. I've never been to a baseball game, so this is the coolest way to be at my first ever baseball game.
First ever baseball game.
Yeah.
Nice job by you. You got
you're
the
a good luck
Angels
charm.
4 runs. That's
wow.
good.
Thank you. So just me being here, I'm
That's
helping
it.
out.
I understand that my kids were just wearing you out behind the banner.
They were grilling me with questions.
Were
it was
they?
good, yeah. It was cool. What's your favorite color? I was like, black. It kind of makes sense.
So we get 4 runs there for us, and you're the good luck charm. Can we bring you back more often, though? We need that. We haven't been scoring a whole lot of runs.
Wow. Okay. Well, then, yeah, I'll be here if I'm definitely helping out.
This is our vantage point. We're going to check out your concert from up here, too, by the way. This is a beautiful thing.
This is very good. This is fun.
What's it been like for you to have the success you had overseas in the UK and then come to America and experience the success? I mean, you've blown up all over the place over the last couple of years.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. You know, I was only released in the UK before, and then suddenly we released my first single internationally. The US was the first place, and it was just received so well with my first single, Break Your Heart. And then following on from that, Dynamite just really, really was such a massive song, and everyone's just been so kind, and I'm having a great time.
Is this something you anticipated doing your whole lifetime as far as being this type of a popular singer?
Yeah, you know what? I've always wanted to. A lot of my influences are from America, so I definitely wanted to come out here and perform and sing and put my music out. So it's been a dream.
Who would be your influences then from over here?
Just all the way from like the 80s, Michael Jackson and people like Madonna, and moving into like when I had my Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey phase. And just I loved all of the ballads and the big ballads and All For One and all the songs Babyface would write. And just all the way up to people right now, you know, Lady Gaga and Kanye West and Justin and everybody who are just great pop musicians.
No mention of the Beatles. That's curious.
No mention of but they're not American.
Well, that's true. But I mean, you're from the UK. I only say that because Norm Peters, our statistician, is a huge Beatles fan.
Yes, I'm a big Beatles fan as well. Yeah, they have an amazing simplicity to their music that I love, and you know, they really just get to the core of just the feeling of the music, which I love.
Now, it's not just performing for you. You're a writer as well.
Yeah.
You've done a heck of a job writing stuff. I mean, which do you prefer? Do you like writing or do you like performing?
I really love both. If I had to pick one, it would be writing, just because I like being creative and coming up with new songs, and you know, and just the energy in the studio. The way that I jump around on stage, we jump around even more in the studio. So yeah, it's great fun.
How do you like performing in front of the public there, whether it's at a big awards show or a venue like here at the Big A, as far as the amount of people there? Is it something that you get a big thrill out of?
Yeah,
performing in front of people?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's great to see the reactions firsthand of the music that you've created, just to see the people, the audience, just go crazy and hear them sing the lyrics back to you. So that's always fun.
Well, Piñeiro's giving up 2 hits here to start the 3rd inning. That's not good, Tayo.
No?
No, we score 4. We want to keep them to 0.
Okay.
So you got to figure out a way to stop them from scoring. Say, Kansas City, stop right now.
Kansas City, stop right now.
Or we're going to have to send you behind the curtain back with the kids and keep things in check, okay?
All right.
So you're going to come here. We're going to put the pressure on you. I mean, it's time to perform.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try and help. I brought the good luck with me. You know, the luck of the English, not the Irish.
All right. I got to ask you, being from the UK, are you a soccer fan? And if so, what's your favorite team?
I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I live in Chelsea, so by default it's Chelsea. My cousins are fans of Man U, and obviously David Beckham, you know, big Man U. So I guess those 2 teams if I was going to pick any.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Chelsea's owned now by the Red Sox, right?
Huh?
You own the Red Sox? I think so. You might be right.
Yeah, the owner of the Red Sox, I think, now owns the Chelsea Football Club.
Abramovich?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it Abramovich?
Abramovich. As far as I was aware, that owned Chelsea.
Well, you would know.
Yeah.
I'm just making stuff up to try to fill the time.
Okay, cool. Should we talk about cheese?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brie?
Cheddar.
Yeah, I'm a big cheddar guy.
Yeah.
Gooby likes anything that's
Mozzarella.
Good. Mozzarella's good. It's a flavorless cheese, though.
I can't believe we're just talking about cheese right now.
I'm telling you, it's all about ad-libbing during a broadcast. Especially when things aren't going the team's way, as Gordon fouls it off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, so it's trying to change the mojo right now and switch it back around. When you first came down, you said, wow, I got to be a 4-run lead here. Now we're going to have some fun. And all of a sudden we look up, Kansas City's trying to get back in there. So we're trying to change it around. Talking cheese.
We're talking cheese.
I got to ask you, you're performing here tonight. Is the plan for you overall as far as concert dates and the like? I mean, what's the plan for you moving forward?
Well, I've just pretty much finishing off my next album. It's my 3rd album in the UK and my 2nd album for America. And yeah, so we're just working on that at the moment and doing intermittent shows as and when we can. And then we'll, hopefully by the end of the year start going into full-on touring mode.
Now, when you have a bunch of shows in a row, or at least a bunch during the course of a month, how do you keep yourself prepared as far as your voice and and yourself in shape to be able to go out there and perform like that, because you're a high-energy guy, so it must be difficult to do.
Yeah, you know, as you probably noticed, I've got quite a soft-spoken voice. So for me, at the end of an hour show or an hour and a half show, I kind of start losing my voice. That I can't really help. It's just a natural thing. But as in terms of eating, I try to eat as well as possible, you know, like anybody else. Try not to put on too many pounds.
I hear you. Gordon grounds out, picks up an RBI. Chris Getz scoring on the pass ball, charged to Jeff Mathis, and this one a ground out. So nobody on base. Kansas City gets 2 of those runs back. Angels up 4-2. Got to ask you, were you invited to the royal wedding?
I was not invited to the royal wedding. I was very miffed about that.
Did you shoot off an email to the Queen?
I did.
Have you heard anything back?
No.
There's something wrong with that. I would, if I were you, I'd take issue with that.
I have. I wrote a letter. I did.
Followed up the email with a letter.
Yeah. I thought I'd go old school with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thought I'd post it, put a stamp on it. The stamp has a face on it, so I thought I'd get through the door that way. Didn't work out for me.
Not so much, huh?
No.
Have you ever met the Queen?
I haven't met the Queen. No. My friends are very good friends with Prince William and Prince Harry, and they go, you know, hanging out with them and various things like that. But no, I'm not that close with them.
Those guys are pretty cool guys, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They like to have a good
They
time.
know how to roll, huh?
Yes.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Now one's very domesticated, so can't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, unless they all party together, why not? They can all go out. They're both young and vibrant people, so they could probably hit the club together.
That's how you guys roll in the UK.
Yeah.
Us stuffed shirts, we just sit up in a booth talking about baseball all day long.
That works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever makes you happy in life.
Is there one person that you would like to meet that you have not met?
I mean, it would have been Michael Jackson, obviously. He's such a massive idol. But right now, no, I mean, I'm so fortunate. I keep meeting, you know, just everybody. People keep calling me up and wanting to work with me. And I do so many shows and performances, and I get to meet such great people. So, yeah, I'm blessed right now.
Yeah, what artist would you like to duet with? Who would be the ultimate one you would be able to do it with right now?
Just anyone who's really, really hot.
That's
Like
a great answer.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like hot, like
Yeah.
they're selling a lot of records, or
But-
like smoking hot?
Like both.
Oh yeah, well that's a good mix.
Yeah, like a both sort of like, you know, someone like Lady Gaga. She's very pretty, but also makes amazing music. And people like Jennifer Lopez or Rihanna, or, you know, there's loads of people who are just out there. In terms of duetting with girls, but, you know, I'd love to do, you know, duets, if you will, or features with rappers like Kanye or Jay-Z or stuff, or just people who make great music, even like rockers, like Kings of Leon, I'd love to work with too.
Nice. Tao, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Have fun after the game, and good luck in your concert and the rest of the success for you.
I shall.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kyle Cruz, kind enough to join us here in the third inning. He'll be performing after the ball game. The first of a concert series here at the Big A. 4-2 Angels here in the third. Pinheiro giving up a couple of hits, couple of runs. Pass ball to Jeff Mathis. And now a walk to Melky Cabrera. Eric Hosmer bounced one back to Pinheiro to end the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Base hit by Chris Getz up the middle, then that double by Escobar down the line. Kind of set things in motion for Kansas City. Pinheiro had a fairly easy first 2 frames, having to work here. He bounces this one to second. What a feed by Steers to Eric. Eyeball inning getting double play. The Royals get 2 runs as we head to the bottom of the third. Angels still lead at 4-2. 2. Halo setting up 3, 4, and 5 here against Felipe Paulino, Abreu, Wells, and Callaspo. Kansas City getting 2 of those runs back in the 3rd against Pinheiro. Abreu 0 for 1, hit a fly ball to center field in the 1st inning. Puts that sinker down the way. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, what a turn of a double play by Meister Osiris. The feed, getting rid of the baseball as quickly as he did to end the inning.
And Meister is so good with that. A perfect feed, the location to be able to have that double play turn. A double play very well needed for Pinheiro and the Angels to be able to maintain that lead.
Bobby swinging at that breaking pitch. Fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very under control as a fielder.
Very soft hands as far as maintaining the perfect spot where he throws that ball, whether he's playing short or second, as far as being able to turn a double play.
Fastball just missed low. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trying to backdoor the breaking pitch, missed outside. Full count now. 51 pitches thrown by Paulino. Play here in the 3rd inning. Had a long 2nd inning. 8 men coming to the plate. Bobby takes a called strike 3. He thought it was ball 4. Paulino going on the breaking pitch, and there is out number 1. 3 strikeouts now for Paulino.
Well, it's about where the baseball crosses the plate, because certainly it was down when Trainer was able to catch that ball, but as it crossed the plate, it cut the bottom part of the strike zone.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Paulino as Vernon takes a fastball for a strike. Wells started it off for the Angels in the 2nd with a leadoff base hit, scored 1 of the 4 runs. Count is even now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Paulino has 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. This one bounced right off the mound and back into center field to Vernon Wells, 2 for 2. Both going right back up the box. Hey folks, Saturday, July the 9th, country superstar Dierks Bentley will continue the postgame summer concert series presented by SRS Labs in association with Budweiser. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com/concerts.
Can we get Dierks in the booth too? What do you think?
Absolutely. He's got a deep voice too.
He can sing.
Yeah. Think he'll want to talk about Champions League in the UK, some soccer. Callaspo swinging and missing on that.
I don't think so. He's a baseball guy.
Yeah. Alberto 0 for 1. Reached down the error by Chris Getz. Ball gets away from Hosmer, and that will allow Vernon to get to second base.
Another mistake. Yosh's team has played solid defense. Threw that ball right over and hit. Looked like it hit Vernon. Osborne unable to go out and even try to reach and make the play.
Callaspo fouling it back. No balls, 2 strikes. Second error of the game for Kansas City. Gets with the other one in the 2nd. 0-2 count on Alberto. Breaking pitch lifted in the air to right center field. Deep enough to at least advance Wells over to 3rd. Cabrera makes the catch. Vernon is in there. But there are 2 outs.
It's still never a bad idea to advance to third. Paulino's a guy that overthrows his breaking pitch at times. He bounces in the dirt. You can get that one of those runs back on a wild pitch. Good approach so far in the game for Vernon Wells as far as swinging the bat, hitting 2 base hits up the middle. Been aggressive running the bases also.
Howie Kendrick 1 for 1, had a base hit to right field in the second. Takes outside for ball 1. Halo scoring 4 in the second inning. Kansas City scoring 2 in the third. Ahead of the count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Howie very comfortable at the plate, looks like right now. They took that slider 2-0. Again, we talk about that approach. Do not swing at breaking pitches and fastball counts. Good idea so far for Howie Kendrick. Was able to fight that fastball in off the plate for a base hit last at bat.
Swinging through the fastball there. Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wells over at third base. First 2-hit game here at the Big A this season. First multi-hit game since May the 4th. Inside, full count now.
You wonder after that fastball in, will you not try to throw a slider now? That's what he's going to go with right there, a slider.
Bounce back up the middle. Chris gets diving stop. Throws to first. Not in time. The run scores. And it is 5-2 Halo.
And that's why the importance of Vernon Wells tagging up and going from second to third. Able to score on an infield base hit by Howie Kendrick, hitting that ball right back up the middle on that slider that kind of spun out the middle part of the plate. Hits it back up the middle.
Howie Kendrick with his 20th run batted in.
Kind of a spinning cement mixer type of breaking ball. Gets did a nice job of keeping it in the infield, but because Vernon went from second to third on that fly ball to center field, he's able to score a run.
Two for 2 game for Howie Kendrick, just like Vernon Wells. Here's Eric Ibar, who had a bases clearing triple in the second. Swing and a miss. Took a shot at it. No balls and a strike. There goes Howie. Time was called. At the last minute, time was called, and Howie has to hit back to first base. Howie had a pretty good jump, too.
Huge jump there. Again, they're going to be aggressive with Paulino on the mound. Like I said, good move to first, but when he goes to home, not so quick.
See Howie, Ibar asking for time there as the foot is going up.
Well, generally, you don't get that call. Players don't like that, too. That late of a timeout call.
Stock is playing back at third base. Ibar figuring maybe get him to move his feet, come in a little bit. One ball, one strike on Ibar. The triple he had in the second, his third of the year. Howie takes off. This pitch is inside. The throw down from Trainer is not in time. Howie Kendrick with a stolen base. And for Howie, that's his 5th of the season.
Good job again. Aggressive base running so far today for Mike Scioscia and the Angels. Pressing the issue on the Royals. Good jump. Able to get that hand in there before the tag was applied. Trainer with a good quick throw. Howie just quick enough to be able to get the hand in barely before the tag is applied.
I think he may have gotten him. Sam Holbrook calling him safe. Ibar popping it up. Left side of the infield. Escobar calls off Moustakas. That'll end the inning, but the Angels do get a run on a couple of hits. 1 error, and they leave a man in scoring position. 3 in the books. Angels on top 5-2. AT&T trivia question. Ex-Royal Frank White is one of 4 second basemen ever with 8 or more Gold Gloves. Who are the others? Frank broadcasting for the Kansas City Royals alongside Ryan Lefebvre.
Frank saved me many a victory. Talk about an unbelievable glove at second base. Roberto Alomar's got to be in there, right?
You would think so.
Bill Mazeroski.
Yeah. Bobby get 8. Two balls and no strikes on Jeff Francoeur leading things off. Francoeur, Butler, and Moustakas against Pinheiro, trying to get that sinker back and working. Francoeur bounced one over to Kayasma the second, so he's 0 for 1. Drills this one out to straightaway center field. Vernon going back. And will make the catch for the first out. That would be getting them to hit it to the big part of the ballpark.
That's about as big a part of the park as you can find right there. And Vernon Wells got himself back in position to make that play. Elevated fastball. Francoeur hit that well, but stayed in the yard. And you want Pinheiro to work down in the strike zone, get the ground balls. That's the important thing.
Billy Butler fouling off a fastball. Makes no balls in strike. What a catch by a fan with one hand right over the railing. A terrific play to our right.
Is that Tyler Chatwood? Looks like him.
Looks like Tyler Chatwood.
He's starting the game and able to make a play.
Great call. Tyler will be on the mound tomorrow.
He said he could do it all.
He's charting pitches from the seats.
That's how he's able to catch it with one hand.
That's great. Upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Pinheiro looks like he's starting to get a little frustrated. He's trying to find that right release point for the sinker.
That's a difficult thing when you just don't have that good arm action to be able to work down in the strike zone.
Butler bouncing one at third. Kayasco backing up on it, but he ends up fielding it cleanly. That's one of those that do or die. It'll probably eat you up more times than not. Hey, kids, on Tuesday, July the 5th, the Angels taking on the Tigers at 7:05. All kids 2 to 18 receive a sock rally monkey, courtesy of Hilton Suites Anaheim Orange. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
I can't wait to get that one. That's going to be perfect.
Oh. First pitch swinging is Mike Moustakas, drilling one to deep right field, and Mike Moustakas has picked up his first major league home run. It's a 5-3 Angels lead.
You can see why the Royals are so enamored with this power that Moustakas has. That's a California record for high school hitters as far as home runs, with 54 when he was at Chatsworth, so you can see that type of power he has. If you don't locate the pitch well, it's going to be hammered by him. Then he had to go up there and bargain to get the baseball back. It was thrown back on the field. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. Quick swing from Moustakas. We get back to that sinker for Pinheiro. We talked about the hitter squeezing the bat too tight at times. Same thing with the pitcher. You want to make sure that you're not squeezing the baseball so hard that you're taking away the ability to have sink on the fastball. And why you do that, he gets a ground ball here, is because you just don't have the confidence.
Low throw, and Howie digs it out for the third out. The Royals do get a run as Mike Moustakas picks up his first big league home run. We head to the fourth, the bottom of the fourth. It's 5-3 Halo. Your Southern California Ford dealer. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. And buy Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grilled Sandwich at participating restaurants. Bottom of the fourth inning. Halos on top 5-3. Well, Pinheiro, 4 innings, 3 runs, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Gave up the home run to Mike Moustakas, his first big league jack. Russell Branyan, Jeff Mathis, Meister Asturis here against Felipe Paulino. Branyan showing bunt. Takes outside for ball 1. Branyan worked his first walk as a member of the Angels, his 8th on the season. In the second inning, so no official at bat for him. Fouls that one back to even a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. 70 pitches thrown by Paulino thus far. 43 strikes. He struck out 3, walked 1. Three runs the Royals have scored. 2 are earned against Pinheiro. Of course, that pass ball coming back to haunt. It was the first run that scored Chris Getz in the 3rd inning. Granion strikes out swinging on a high fastball, and there is out number 1. Paulino's given up 5 runs. Only 2 have been earned because of a couple of errors. We go back to our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Frank White, one of 4 second basemen ever with 8 or more Gold Gloves. Who are the others? Ryan Sandberg.
Rhino. Boy, Frank White was so smooth. They call his nickname was Smooth with the Royals, especially on that quick AstroTurf in Kansas City. One of the best fielding second basemen in the history of the game. Boy, could he turn a double play also.
Mathis swinging through a fastball.
Me being the good guy, I like to have guys on base for allow him to turn the double plays.
Just so you can experience the double play?
Yeah.
That's how you rolled back in the day.
Yeah. Why would you want to strike everybody out? It's fun backing up bases.
1-2 now on Jeff Mathis. You were a charitable sort.
Give up my base hits, walk a few, too many, and get a double play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Mathis bent back with that fastball. Jeff, one of the 4 strikeout victims of Paulino's. He's 0 for 1. Kind of got underneath that slider a little bit.
Pulled that a number of times today in the game. Kind of muscle up. Hear that terminology, muscle up. It's overthrown, and you're unable to get that good arm slide.
Mathis goes down looking on the breaking ball. That was a good one. So 2 outs and nobody on for Meister Asturis. Paulino vying for his second 1-2-3 inning. He retired the Angels in order in the first. Meister with a fly ball to left and a sacrifice fly to center, picking up his 17th run batted in. Bouncer over to Getz. And he has the second 1-2-3 inning. For the books, Angels still on top 5-3. Spectacular night, the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July the 12th, live from Phoenix at 5 p.m. Pacific only on Fox. Top of the 5th inning, Angels up 5-3. Chris Getz leading things off, followed by Alcides Escobar and then Alex Gordon. 8-9-1 for Kansas City. Getz had a leadoff base hit in the 3rd, eventually led to the first 2 runs for KC. 1 for 1. Cayasco playing in near the cut of the grass. Gets has pretty good speed. This one's lifted, fouled, and out of play. It's 1-2 now. Piñeiro's thrown 54 pitches. 35 have been strikes. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. He's allowed 4 hits, including the home run. Lifted in the air to shallow right. Here comes Torrey. 1 out.
Ideally, you would want to try to get Getz hitting the ball in the air like that. He's a more dangerous hitter when he hits the ball on the ground or line drives. Anything in the air, really, one of those at-bats where he's giving himself up. He doesn't have quite the power to get it over the head of an outfielder, so he wants to hit the ball on the line or on the ground, utilize that speed. Very good contact hitter.
Here's the shortstop, Alcides Escobar. He had a double in the 3rd inning. Showing bunt here, takes the breaking ball for a strike. A double for Escobar, his 9th of the year. This following the 2-for-4 game with an RBI he had last night. The 0-1. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-2.
Back-to-back very sharp sliders by Piñeiro. Good spots. Now you can expand the strike zone. Shook off the slider. Now I'm going to go with the split finger fastball.
One and 2 now. The Royals with 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, 1 left on. The Angels 5 runs, 5 hits. Having stranded 2 base runners.
But a lot of times when you see a pitcher shake off a number of pitches, then come right back to one you initially wanted to throw. That's what Mathis wanted to throw. First of all, that slider.
Toward the middle, Ibar to his left, has it, gets rid of it quickly, throws it away, goes off the screen. Escobar, oblivious as to where the baseball is at, stays at first base. Well, if that ball thrown by Ibar is near the bag, I think they might get him.
Great range for Ibar going up the middle. Ground ball right up the middle, and a strong throw. That's how he tried to stretch. Mathis in position to try to prevent that ball from going in the dugout. Good hustle by Jeff Mathis. Let's see, there's a screen there. Able to advance for Escobar, but now at first base.
Infield single for Escobar, his 2nd hit. Here's Alex Gordon. Twice having grounded out to second. Pitch just missed down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Gordon 0 for 2, but did pick up an RBI, his 34th with that ground out in the 3rd inning that plated Escobar. Escobar with pretty good speed, has a decent lead at first, doesn't go here as that pitch is in the dirt. 2-1 now. Remember that start for Piñeiro against Kansas City on May the 31st. The one baseball that he threw away, a comebacker back to him, changed the complexion of that game. It led to a 5-run 3rd inning. 2-1 pitch. Gordon takes outside. It's 3 balls and a strike. And again, Piñeiro just kind of battling himself, trying to throw consistent strikes with that sinker.
Yeah, getting underneath it. We talked about getting underneath for Santana with the slider. Same thing here with the sinking fastball. You have to stay on top of the baseball, work down. I often hear that terminology, working downhill. He's going laterally with that sinker right now. You got to think downhill out in front over the front leg.
And he walked him. Second walk of the game issued by Piñeiro. puts 2 on with 1 out. Here comes Melky Cabrera. And unlike the first time through the order where Piñeiro was throwing a lot of breaking pitches, he's kind of relying solely on that curveball, or that sinker, I should say, not going back to the curveball.
And he's fighting that pitch so much right now. Obviously, the mindset is you've tried 5 different occasions to try to get your 100th career victory. The bottom line is you got to go back to your normal aggressive way of throwing strikes in the strike zone down, whether it's the curveball, the slider, split finger fastball, or fastball. You got to utilize all your pitches.
Try and go to the breaking ball there, and that missed up and away. Melky Cabrera with a strikeout and a walk. He's 0 for 1. Got Escobar at second, Gordon at first.
But it's the time when you need that double play ball. Cabrera's hitting the 5 double plays. Eric Hosmer on deck, good low ball hitter. This is the guy you want to get. See if you can get a ground ball to Meiser at second.
Halo's trying to get some action going in the bullpen now as Cabrera pulls one into right field. There's a base hit. Escobar's being waved home. Torres' throw goes to second base. RBI single. Makes it 5 to 4 Halos. Rich Thompson playing catch in the bullpen.
A lot of times on TV, you'll see how the sinker's kind of movement. It looks like it's got great movement, but it's not sharp, quick movement at the end. Piñeiro right now is unable to get that one down. See, that ball looks like it's moving pretty well, but in reality, because it's not that firm of a pitch, it's kind of rolling across the strike zone. You want to think in terms of getting on top and get down in the strike zone. So this ball is kind of rolling to the middle of the plate. You want to think in terms of once it gets around thigh high, it drops down below the knee, and that's when you hit the top of the ball and get ground balls.
Well, it was once a 4-0 lead. It's now a 5-4 lead. Eric Hosmer at the plate. Runners at first and second and 1 out still. Hosmer 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs, and it included an inning-ending double play in the third. Pulled over to first. Howie's got it. Goes to second. They get the lead runner back to first in time. 3-6-3 inning-ending double play. But the Royals do get a run back. We hit to the bottom of the 5th. Angels lead at 5-4. between Howie Kendrick and Eric Ibarb. Slow developing, but it worked out great.
Boy, and I can't tell you how difficult that is of a throw for Howie Kendrick, a guy that's generally a second baseman. That's a throw where you're going right at the base runner. He gave that ball over to Eric Ibarb to be able to catch to his throwing side, to be able to get it and come back around and throw a 3-6-3 double play. That's an outstanding play by Howie Kendrick.
Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu, Vernon Wells, 2, 3, and 4 for the Halos here in the fifth. Torrey 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a strikeout. Ahead of the count now at 2-0. Paulino with 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 5 hits allowed. He gave up 3 hits in the second, 2 in the third. Torrey bouncing it foul, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And this is going to have to be one of those games for the offense to keep adding on. Kansas City's getting some pretty comfortable swings against Pinheiro. He's trying to work down. He's got a couple key double play balls, but the offense needs to keep piling on, put the pressure on the Royals. Get on base and keep moving base runners.
Torrey fouling one back just above us. Two and 2 the count. Bobby Abreu on deck. Tells you what kind of fastball Paulino has. See some of the swings from right-handed batters, especially on the elevated fastball. Great catch. And how about the high fives? I mean, those are emphatic high fives. You might have to ice after one of those high fives.
No question.
Bounce to the third. Moustakas has it. 1 away. It's 5 in a row retired by Paulino. He's giving up the base hit. And Howie Kendrick to run home a run. And Bobby steps to the plate. Top of the order, still looking for their first hit against Paulino. 0 for 7 with a sacrifice fly. Bobby's 0 for 2. Fly ball to center and a strikeout. Went down looking, leading off the third. Breaking ball to start off this at bat. It snowballs and a strike. Paulino did throw 99 pitches his last time out. That was a no decision against Toronto. Giving up 2 runs, 1 earned in 6 2/3. Lays off the breaking pitch, did not go. Count evens now, 1 ball, 1 strike. This may be one heck of a find for Kansas City as far as a waiver wire pickup. Good arm. But so far, the 2 starts that we've seen, he's harnessed it. He has not been erratic. And if he has been erratic, as he kind of started off that first inning, a little shaky as far as control, but ended up having a 1-2-3 inning. All of a sudden, settled in nicely.
Yeah, the early scouting reports were that he was wild. It wasn't consistently throwing strikes. Not great fastball command, but boy, that fastball right there at 95 followed before that with 2 good curveballs.
Count even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count now with Wells on deck. Vernon 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. 2 runs scored. 8th start in that cleanup spot for Vernon tonight. The payoff pitch, and Bobby laces one into right center field. There's a base hit. Bobby's thinking about going for 2. He'll stop there as Melky gets the baseball back into the infield. So it's a 1-out base hit, the 6th of the night for the Halos. And here comes Vernon.
Cabrera did a nice job of cutting off that baseball. As Bobby, good approach here, gets a fastball, didn't get it away. Paulino didn't, and Bobby made him pay for that. He shot that ball right back past Chris Getz into center field, but Cabrera was able to cut it off, keep Bobby to a single. Wouldn't be surprised early on if Bobby Abreu tries to steal a bag here. Again, got to force the issue.
Bobby, 10 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught twice. Vernon takes an off-speed pitch in for strike one. Both of the Wells singles going back up the middle. Swinging through the breaking pitch. Quickly in the hole and no balls and 2 strikes.
Frustrated himself for swinging at that curveball.
Tim Collins, left-hander, first man up for Kansas City. 95 pitches for Felipe Paulino. Bobby goes in standing up, pretty close play at first. Bobby takes off, the 0-2 fouled straight back. Abreu had a pretty good break on that one. Gets back to first base. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. Bobby's looking for that bullpen car to pick him up and take him back to first base. Another 0-2. Breaking pitch did not go, did he? Did not. Greg Gibson agrees.
Well, if you leave that bat out there long enough, though, you don't want to give the umpire that much of a look for it, just in case. Didn't look like Vernon went through on the swing. It was close.
1-2 now. If there was one criticism of Paulino, is the fact that pitch count gets up there fairly quickly. Closing in on 100 here in the 5th. With as good a stuff as he has, at least that we've seen in 2 starts against the Angels, should be able to shorten that up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I think the thought process for Kansas City. They might have him be the long guy out of the bullpen at some point once they establish some of these younger pitchers they've had down in their farm system for a while to be able to come up at some point. Montgomery's one of their good young left-handed throwers down there. Duffy's up right now. But he might be better suited for that long guy out of the bullpen. He's got good stuff, can give Ned Yost a couple of different looks for him out of the bullpen. But if you're a guy, you're throwing 100, 110 pitches in 5 innings, you're going to tax your bullpen each and every game.
Inside, 2-2 now. Gordon and Cabrera at left and center respectively, playing Wells to pull. This one flipped into left field. It's a 3-hit game for Vernon Wells. Well, you saw it in that last pitch that he took. He was looking out over the plate, looking for that breaking ball. That's why Matt Trainer kind of gave that reaction to Paulino, saying, nice job. That's where I wanted that pitch, that fastball in on the hands. Vernon didn't bite. When we go back to the breaking pitch, it's just hooked out into left.
And it wasn't a bad pitch either. Vernon was able to hit that ball hard enough into left field. Rolled over on that ball, hit it in the air. Again, he's doing a nice job of making some adjustments. The last few games, even the other day when he walked on a 3-2 count, he's seen the ball much better.
Here's Callaspo swinging at the first pitch, lofting it foul and out of play. Alberto tonight breached out an error by Chris Getz in the second, came around and scored, hit a fly ball to center in the third. 0 for 2, putting him 0 for 14 on the homestand. Evens a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobby Abreu at second base. Vernon Wells at first. 1 out here in the 5th. Tim Collins ready to go in the bullpen for Kansas City. Breaking pitch lifted in the air toward right center field. Long run over for Francoeur. Abreu will tag and head to third. The throw comes into second base, and Callaspo is out number 2.
Callaspo's got to get back to his good swing as far as not getting out in front, keeping his hands deeper in, letting that pitch get deeper in the strike zone, hit that ball hard on the line. He's been fooled on a number of all-speed pitches out in front, getting the bat head through too early and the hips flying open.
So it's up to Howie Kendrick with runners at first and third and 2 outs. A 5-4 Angels lead. Howie 2 for 2. A couple of singles, an RBI, and a run scored. He's even picked up a stolen base. 5th of the year. Halos tonight 3 for 6 with men in scoring position. 6 for 12 in the series against Kansas City. It's 2-0.
I'm guessing this is going to be the last batter for Paulino, no matter what. Even if he gets him out, probably be done after this inning. Certainly a base hit, and he'll be knocked out of the game.
2-0 pitch. Outside 3-0. Eric Ibar on deck. Switch hitter. Season high in pitches thrown for Paulino at 106 now.
Howie, if he's comfortable with this pitch, will probably get the green light from Mike Scioscia. Doesn't mean you have to swing at it. This has to be a pitch you can do and hit on the line.
Takes on the outside corner, 3-1. The Royals play Howie the opposite way in the outfield. Melky Cabrera shallow and toward the alley at right center. Francoeur shallow and right. Big gap in left center field. Slow roller towards third. Stakas has it. High throw, but Hosmer keeps the foot on the bag, and that will end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on, 5 in the books. Angels still on top by 4.
freeze cam. Out there in the second inning, some great at-bats for the Halos. Vernon Wells with his first of his 3 hits up the middle. And speaking of inside-out swings, Howie doing his job, advancing a base run with the bases loaded. Eric Ibar gets a slide piece and drills it down the right field line for a 3-run triple. End up scoring another run, 4-run second inning for the Halos. They still lead the ball game 5-4 here in the top of the 6th. And that was our Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Here in the 6th inning, Yoel Pinheiro to face Frank Core, Butler, and Moustakas. 4, 5, and 6 for Kansas City. Frank Core's 0 for 2 with a ground ball to third and a fly ball to deep center. No balls and a strike. Big inning for Pinheiro. Even though he's thrown just 70 pitches on the night. Struggling with the command. Now nursing a 1-run lead. The Angels do have Rich Thompson back up and playing catch alongside Pinheiro. This one's pulled over to third. Callaspo's got it. 1 out. Frank Core now 0 for 3. Brings up Billy Butler. Butler had a single in the second inning. Grounded out to Alberto. And that came in the fourth. 1 for 2 game. The Royals at the start of the day, 4th in the American League Central Division, 7.5 games back. That pitch is down low. 1 ball, no strikes on Butler. That Central Division starting to change drastically with Cleveland's struggles of late. They've lost 7 of the last 10. That'll leave the count at 1-1. Matter of fact, they got shut out today, so make that 8 of the last 11.
We've had some interesting games with the Yankees. Some hit batters during the course of games.
The Tigers now are tied atop the division with their victory today, defeating Seattle 8-1. So the Tigers at 35 and 29. A virtual tie with Cleveland is at 34 and 28. Can't forget about the White Sox. They won today. They beat the Oakland Athletics. They're now 4.5 back in the Central. Butler rolls it foul.
Well, White Sox have been hot, and they blew a pretty significant lead last night. They would have been right at that 500 mark. They won today against Oakland. Oakland continues to struggle themselves.
Another 1-2. Butler takes that one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boston just crushed Toronto today, 16-4. They maintain their 2-game lead in the American League East over New York. Tampa beat Baltimore. That's outside. It's a full count now with Moustakas on deck. We mentioned earlier in the game that Texas dropped one to Minnesota. 8-1.
Texas now lost 9 of the last 10 at Target Field. Tough times against the Twins in their ballpark.
Another payoff pitch. Butler grounds one toward the hole. It's short. Ibar can't get it. That's the second hit of the game for Billy Butler. He comes with 1 out here in the 6th. So man on for Mike Moustakas. Hey folks, on Thursday, July the 7th, the Angels begin a 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. All fans in attendance will receive an Angels flashback hat courtesy of Hyundai. For tickets, visit Angels Stadium ticket office or log on to angels.com. All the logos, the history of the Angels.
That's a cool hat.
One ball, no strikes on Moustakas. Picked up his first major league home run in the 4th inning, a solo shot. With 10 home runs down at AAA Omaha. 44 runs batted in. Total of 26 home runs, 124 runs batted in last season. Down in the minor leagues. 2 balls and no strikes.
And now you've put yourself into a fastball count against a very good young fastball hitter in Moustakas here for Pinheiro.
Three balls and no strikes, probably very close to being the last batter for Pinheiro, you would think anyway, even though at 82 pitches, Thompson's ready to go. He's got Matt Trainer on deck. A 4-pitch walk. Third walk issued by Pinheiro, and that will be his last. Rich Thompson's coming into the game, and he'll be coming on with 1 out and 2 on. As the Angels nurse a 1-run lead. Thompson trying to get that double play ball from Matt Trainer and keep it with a 1-run lead. Pinheiro's done for tonight. The Angels leading it 5-4.
Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on by El Pollo Loco. Now for only $5 at El Pollo Loco, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They are the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they are gone. And by Time Warner Cable.
Rich Thompson comes into the game with 1 out, runners at first and second. The Angels up 5-4. Rich pitching in his 21st game. 1-2 record, a 3 ERA. Come on to face Matt Trainer. Billy Butler at second, Mike Moustakas at first. Trainer tonight has lined out and grounded out. So he's 0 for 2. No balls and strike.
A good breaking pitch, first pitch thrown by Thompson against Trainer. Try to see if you can get that ground ball. When you have that type of action on the slider, you can do a ground ball every time if he makes contact.
Rich Thompson pitched on Tuesday with 2/3 of it, and he got the first 2 batters out, but then gave up 3 consecutive hits. Ended up getting charged with a run, no strikeouts, and no walks. 1-1. Pinheiro 5 1/3, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 7 hits, responsible for the 2 guys on base. Three straight breaking pitches to Matt Trainer. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now all of a sudden you made Trainer a better hitter now because he's going to be looking fastball. More likely he's going to get the fastball. Trainer's a guy that hits that ball well to the right side of the infield, so put yourself in a tough position now. Two and two.
Good location on that pitch, down and in.
Thompson with a very good fastball also. More of a two-seam fastball. When he first came up with the Angels, he was a four-seam guy who threw about 94, 95. It was a straight fastball. He's developed that two-seam fastball with better action on it. May have lost a mile or two, but it's better action, better chance for a ground ball.
Trainer lines one at the alley in left center field. That will bring home the tying run. Moustakas goes to third. This game tied at 5.
Boy, slider just went back over the middle of the plate. He threw a nice fastball the pitch before. And you got to think in terms of ground balls, but instead you throw a slider. You're looking for the strikeout. In that spot with good action on the fastball, especially when you're throwing 91, you get that ground ball, get through the inning.
So Moustakas at third now, Trainer at first, and here's Chris Getz, a tough guy to double up. Getz takes a strike. A lot of movement from Jeff Mathis behind the plate on a pitch that didn't seem to be close to bouncing in the dirt. Still called a strike. Jeff ending up on his knees. But it's 0-1 on Getz, who had a base hit with a run scored at the third, and a fly ball to right in the fifth. Getz bunts it on the right side. The throw is coming home. Mathis blocks the plate. Moustakas is out. Not a very good bunt by Chris Getz. That coupled with the fact that Moustakas did not get a good jump from third base. And there are 2 outs.
I'm going to see more of a safety squeeze on that play. What a safety squeeze is you make sure the bunt's down before you come home, but ball was hit hard. See right there, there's no doubt that's a safety squeeze, but Howie made a nice play using the bare hand, low throw. Mathis able to scoop it and be in position to make the play on the tag at home plate. A nice job by Mathis to be able to get himself, not only be able to gather on the low throw, but block that plate. Again, that was that safety squeeze. But nice job by Howie, reacting with the bare hand.
Here's Al City's Escobar with 2 outs. Takes a breaking ball low. Matt Trainer now at second base, gets it first. Escobar, 2 for 2 game, double, a single, 2 runs scored. Count is even at 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Kansas City with a run here and 2 hits, including a walk issued by Pinheiro. A 4-pitch walk to Mike Moustakas that chased Pinheiro out of this game. And now Thompson falls behind at 3 balls and a strike.
Again, throwing a lot of either sliders or cut fastballs for Rich Thompson. And still the #1 pitch in baseball is a fastball. Located well, and a lot of outs with that pitch. But when you're forced into a fastball count, it becomes much easier to hit.
Full count. Now you've helped the Royals getting to that 3-ball count. They'll get a running start here with 2 outs. The guy doesn't run all that well, and Matt Trainer getting the head start from second base, representing the go-ahead run. That to me is the bigger issue, falling behind on a guy that's been scuffling all season long, and now Alcides Escobar kind of putting him in the driver's seat. Runners go. 3-2 foul off to the right.
Ibar coming in to talk to Rich Thompson. Just make him aware of Trainer to make sure he keeps him a little bit closer to that second base bag to get a running lead and start on him.
Boy, Rich's tempo early on this year when he was going good was lightning quick, but all of a sudden just has come to a halt of late.
The confidence factor come into play for him.
Another payoff. Another foul ball off to the right. Trainer heads back to second and gets back to first. Top of the order, and Alex Gordon on deck. Angels pitchers have thrown 29 pitches here in the 6th inning. De Niro 14. Thompson has thrown 15. Thompson's faced 3 batters. Giving up the single to Trainer. Fielder's choice to Getz. Walked him. They're loaded up for Gordon.
Number 4, left fielder Alex Gordon.
Mike Butcher out to pay a visit. Looks like there's some scrambling going on in the Angels bullpen. Now you got a much better hitter in Alex Gordon at the plate with the bases loaded. Fans celebrate the Angels' 50th anniversary all summer long. Stop by the team store to get your flip-flops, towels, and beach essentials. The team store locations are open 7 days a week and during all Angels home games. So go now.
Go now.
Alex Gordon twice has grounded out to second. Drawn a walk. 0 for 2. Did pick up an RBI. One ball, no strikes. Long walk around the mound for Rich Thompson, trying to figure it out. Good pitch, good location there. 1-1. Kevin Jepson now up and loosening for the Halos. Outfield for the Angels, straight around. Good speed on the bases at second and first. Gordon swings through that one. 1-2. Trainer's over third. Gets at second. Escobar at first. First batter that Thompson has gotten ahead of. 1 ball, 2 strikes. At the bottom of the 6th inning, the Angels have Ibar, Branyan, and Mathis scheduled to come up, and it looks like it's going to be Tim Collins, a little left-hander for Kansas City, coming into the game. Down a piece of that one, so the count remains at 1-2.
Pretty good breaking ball right there that Gordon was able to foul away.
Another 1-2. Gordon swinging a miss. Down it goes. The Royals leave it loaded, but they do tie things up as Matt Trainer picks up an RBI single off Rich Thompson. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. This game knotted at 5.
Ibar going to lead off now. It's time for a Land Rover performance. Speaking of Eric Ibar, with the bases loaded, back in the 2nd inning, gets a slide piece, turns on it, hits it right by Eric Hosmer first base for a three-run triple. In the 2nd inning, he got the offense started. He's got to start it once again as the game here is tied.
Eric Ibar, Russell Branyan, Jeff Mathis. Those are the Schedule 3 guys against Tim Collins, the diminutive left-hander, pitching now his 32nd game. 3-2 mark, a 3.24 ERA.
Certainly has good stuff. He can rush that fastball, mid-90s, very good curveball. Throwing strikes has been an issue for him. In 33 in the 3rd innings pitched, 27 walks. Does have 33 strikeouts and that 33 in the 3rd.
Ibar will spin around a hit from the right side. 1 for 2 with that bases clearing triple in the 2nd. Popped out. The man in scoring position in the 3rd. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Moustakas playing in at 3rd base in case Ibar decides to drop one down. Count even now at 1 ball, 1 strike. Collins from Worcester, Massachusetts. With the Blue Jays, the Braves, and now the Royals getting a chance at the big leagues with Kansas City. Had one heck of a spring. I remember seeing him a couple of times down in Surprise, Arizona. Impressive. The unorthodox delivery.
Well, yeah, generally you always think of as a pitcher, you want to keep your shoulders level when you deliver the baseball, but he leans all the way back, old school as far as following through and get over that front leg.
This one grounded over to third. Moustakas has it. Nybar is retired for the first out. Was it Lindy McDaniel back in the day?
I was thinking of Juan Marichal also.
Yeah,
Right side.
Thinking former Royals.
Yeah.
So with one out, nobody on, here's Branyan, who has walked and struck out. Fastball on the outside corner. Oh, 0-2 now. Kevin Jepson still loosening in the bullpen. Looks like he'll be coming on in the seventh. Branyan takes a fastball in at the knees. And down he goes on 3 pitches for out number 2. Sundays on Fox Sports West, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week, it's Frank Robinson. Boys in the Hall, Sundays, presented by Subway, where winners eat. There's Jeff Mathis, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, swinging first pitch and grounds with a short. Escobar will retire him in a very easy, quiet 6th inning for Tim Collins. We head to the 7th, tied at 5. It's tied at 5. Kevin Jepson has come on in relief of Rich Thompson. Thompson goes 2/3 of an inning. Strikes out 1, walks 1, gives up 1 hit. But that run charged to Pinheiro. Kevin Jepson now will be facing 2, 3, and 4. Cabrera, Hosmer, and Frank Gore.
Jepson's tried to make some adjustments in his mechanics. Mike Butcher's been working with him a lot as far as shortening up his stride, to have a better opportunity to have better fastball command. His cut fastball has been better since making that adjustment.
Melky Cabrera to lead things off for Kansas City. Cabrera, a strikeout, a walk, and an RBI single. The Halos with 4 runs in the second, 1 in the third. Kansas City with 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. They continue to battle through it. The Angels offense has kind of gone into shutdown mode. They did have 2 hits And runners at first and second with 1 out in the 3rd inning. But Teospo, fly ball to right field. Kendrick with a ground out, and that's been it.
Well, we referenced that add-on just to distance yourself from Kansas City. They got some guys that really fight through their at-bats, like that one up the middle.
Leadoff single from Melky Cabrera. Puts a man on for Eric Hosmer. Hosmer's 0 for 3 with a couple of groundouts. 2 double play ball outs. Cabrera with a big lead over at first. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Melky Cabrera with 8 stolen bases, been caught stealing once. No, Hosmer's not in a sacrifice mode.
But if he wanted to, that'd be fine. He can go ahead and square around and bunt. Give up that out.
Chaos was playing deep at third base. Evens the count of 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Kevin Jepson, if he just realized how good of a fastball he has, and you locate a fastball right there, so much more effective. It's all about trusting your stuff when you go to the mound. Trusting your ability to make a quality pitch, hit your spots, and get people out.
I think there are times that there's way too much attention paid to the base runner at first base, especially in crucial situations in the game. Guys trying to get locked in as far as location with their pitches. Cabrera takes off. Hosmer bounces one towards short. Ibar's got it. Off balance throw, still gets Hosmer for the first out. Nice play by Eric.
Well, that was a very athletic play by Eric Ibar. He's covering the base on a potential stolen base attempt by Cabrera. Then he has to back up in a tough hop to boot. He's going towards the base, hit and run. Tough little short hop. Then falling back makes a strong throw to get Hosmer at first base.
Pretty good attempt too by Hosmer to hit the ball the opposite way.
It's not easy to do, especially if you're a young hitter, to have that type of trust in your hands, let the ball go deep in the strike zone like that, to be able to fight that ball to that spot that was vacated by Eric Ibar.
So Cabrera in scoring position for Jeff Francoeur, who's 0 for 3. And Kevin just overthrew the daylights out of that pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Nice job by Mathis just to get a piece of his catcher's glove on it.
That was his cut fastball. Mike Butcher's trying to get him to shorten up his stride, not try to do too much with that. You have to, on a cut fastball, it's a different grip than a slider. I think in terms of throwing like you're throwing a football, that's how you create that type of break.
Throw back to second base. Good throw by Mathis, but Cabrera gets back in there in time. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike on Francoeur, who's grounded to third, hit a fly ball to center, grounded to third once again. Kansas City with 9 hits. The Angels with 7. Shot to right field. There's a base hit. Cabrera is going to be waved home. Here comes a throw home from Torrey Hunter. Melky Cabrera is dumped down. Out number 2.
teams just continue to test Torrey Hunter in right field. He's done a great job as far as making that adjustment on that throw from the right field position as compared to his customary position out in center field. Charged the ball well. Hustled in. Perfect throw right to the plate. Torrey now 8 outfield assists, easily getting Cabrera at the plate. But above all, to make that play, you have to be aggressive on the charge, and then the perfect throw, the angle coming in, able to throw that ball up the third base line to be able to cut off Cabrera's ability to be able to get around the tag and easily out at home plate.
Mike Butcher out to talk things over with Billy Butler at the plate. Torrey acknowledging the fans out in right field, giving a standing ovation. And I say that from the standpoint of a terrific throw, terrific trajectory on the throw to get a very good base runner. Melky Cabrera is a fast guy. Now tip of the cap to Torrey.
Again, the adjustment has been made from that center field position to right field. It's a different throw. Torrey's been very good as far as charging the baseball and get himself into good throwing position. He's been very accurate with the throw.
Intentional walk forthcoming here to Billy Butler. They'd rather face the rookie left-hander Mike Moustakas. The Angels do have Scott Downs loosening in the pen. That ball hit by Frank Coor was not hit that hard. Torrey did a nice job of charging it, putting a rocket to the plate. There is ball 4.
Now it's time for a Coors Light cold hard blast. Mike Moustakas coming up the plate now, but early in the ball game hits his first career major league home run to right center field, gets the fastball over the middle of the plate and hits it into the stands in right field for his first career home run.
Moustakas 1 for 2 with a pop-up, a home run and a walk. The delay or the stall, if you will, by Mathis is to give Mike Scioscia an opportunity to make the walk out there, give Scott Downs a couple extra tosses in the bullpen. That's going to be it for Kevin Jepsen. He departs with property at first and second base. 2 outs here in the 7th. Scott Downs coming on to take on Mike Moustakas in a 5-5 tie. Quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And buy Bubba Burger. Available in your grocer's freezer. Remember, you'll never bite a burger better than a Bubba. Bubba Burger. Scott Downs comes on in place of Kevin Jepsen to take on Mike Moustakas. Lefty versus lefty. Jeff Francoeur at second. Billy Butler at first. 1.47 ERA, 21 games for Scott Downs. Moustakas takes the sweeping slider in for a strike. Mentioned the home run that he hit in the fourth. It's popped out, 1 for 2. Threw a walk on 4 pitches against Pinheiro in the 6th inning. Pulled foul. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
One of those danger spots, that fastball inside. Now you got an opportunity to throw that sweeping breaker ball again off the outside corner. See if you can get the youngster to fish for that pitch.
Big hole on the left side as Ibar is trying to keep Frank Court close to the bag. Bobby Abreu probably deeper than normal, especially with a left-handed batter at the plate. 0-2, pulled foul. Almost too good of a breaking pitch there.
Yeah, go away on that pitch off the corner. Bobby is playing pretty deep in left field because you want to be in that position to be able to take away that possibility of a flare to left field. So you got a lefty versus lefty. A guy's going to try to fight the ball off into left if it's on the outside corner.
Another 0-2 from Downs. Got him swinging, tied him over the fastball down and in. Down goes Moustakas. That will end the inning. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. We're still tied.
Artie Moreno, the first Hispanic owner in baseball. Since 2003, Artie has done what it takes to put a winner on the field and build a connection to the community.
He's got an incredible passion for this game. He's put us on the map. He's created the Angel brand. He's created the environment that this is a fan-friendly experience, that this is a destination spot.
Artie's in the house. This game tied at 5. John Carpino, the president of the Angels, with him.
Tim Meade said it best there about he's created a great atmosphere here at the Big A. Everywhere on the road, too, you see so many people wearing that Angel red on the road, which has been amazing transformation between that beforehand and now since Artie's taken over as the owner of the ball club.
Meister Sturris takes a fastball in there from Tim Collins, working his 2nd inning of work. 0 for 2 with a sac fly in the 2nd inning. Meister takes a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Collins had a 1-2-3 6th inning, including a strikeout of Russell Branyan. Sturris, Hunter, and Abreu. For the Angels hitters, the approaches changed drastically. Granted, Collins is pretty good stuff, but he pointed out the walks that he has issued as well. can struggle at times with control. But guys falling behind, all of a sudden expanding their strike zone.
Swinging the pitches off the plate. There's got to be a reason when you have 27 walks and 33 1/3 coming into this game tonight.
Torrey fouling off the first pitch with no balls in a strike. Torrey 0 for 3. Fly to right, a strike down, the ground ball to third. Evens a count of 1-1. Aaron Crow, the fireballing right-hander, shot loosening. Closer for a week in the big leagues, so he's got that added to his resume. Bryant from the University of Missouri. Great stuff, that's for sure.
A real good fastball, nasty slider.
2 balls and 1 strike now to Torrey.
For Torrey right here, look for the fastball and crush it.
Got the fastball, fouls it back, 2-2 now. Felipe Paulino got the start. He went 5 innings tonight. Gave up 5 runs, only 2 earned on 7 hits. 5 strikeouts and a walk. Torrey must have been looking off speed there. He got a fastball at 93, just below the knees, full count.
Pretty close pitch.
And he walked him. Puts a man on and snaps the string of 6 consecutive batters retired by Royals pitching. Here comes Bobby Abreu on a base hit in the 5th inning, a 1 for 3 game. Pay attention to Torrey over at first base. 2 stolen bases, but caught stealing just once. Collins with a big leg kick, too.
Well, 3 stolen bases, only 1 base stealer has been caught against him.
Pitch out, nothing's happening, almost throws it away.
Well, it's difficult the way his stance is on the mound if you're a base stealer to be able to read that. His foot's almost at the pitching rubber. When you cross the rubber, you have to go home, but he's right on that borderline. It's very difficult to read him if you're a base stealer, so you got to just guess right with him, go on first movement, and because he is slow to the plate, you have a chance of being successful if you guess right.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And the danger of a pitch out, because Tim Collins has walked a number of batters, you put him in the hole now. Now 2-0 to a very patient hitter in Bobby Abreu here.
Falling behind it, 3 balls and no strikes. Vernon Wells on deck. Crow is ready to go in the bullpen. 3 for 3 is Vernon Wells. 3 singles, 2 runs scored.
Bobby's not going to be swinging anything out of the strike zone if it's not right where he can hit it. I look for a fastball on the inside part of the plate. Otherwise, he may take it.
(3-1). He walked it back-to-back walks with 1 out here to 7. Pedro stays with Collins. It goes with Crow. Right-handed batter. Here comes Ned Yost. It'll be a battle of the bullpens, as it has been for the last inning plus.
Yost going down there, bringing in the right-hander. Aaron Crow to face Vernon Wells. And again, Vernon's going to have to be patient there because more than likely Crow will throw that first pitch. Will be a slider. He has a good fastball, but a very, very effective slider.
So pitching change here in the 7th. The Angels have 2 men on with 1 out. It'll be Aaron Crow and Vernon Wells going at it when we return. Into a 5-5 tie. He'll be facing Vernon Wells. Pitching now his 26th game. Crow, 12th overall selection back in 2009 out of the University of Missouri. Got off to a terrific start. 15-3 scoreless innings to start. You see now 1.47 ERA. And I mentioned he's going to face Vernon Wells. Vernon 3 for 3 and 2 singles back up the box against Felipe Paulino. One on a fastball, one on a breaking ball, then flips the slider out to left field. So he's 3 for 3. He comes up to face Aaron Crow. With Torrey Hunter at second base, Bobby Abreu at first, and 1 out. First 3-hit game as a member of the Angels. Takes a fastball first pitch, 2-1.
He's had some real good approaches over the last couple of games. Big RBI spot for Vernon right here. Opportunity to give the Halos the lead.
Swinging through the fastball at 95, and it's no balls, 2 strikes.
I envision him being a starter at some point. He was a starter in the minor leagues, struggled, settled in a nice spot here out of the bullpen, but a tip of an arm that eventually they like to see as part of their rotation.
0-2. Missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crow last year at high A and double A combined. 9 and 10 with a 5.73 ERA. Pitched well in spring training with a shot out of spring training as a bullpen piece. As they pointed out, 15-3 scoreless to start his big league career. That ball gets away from Trainer. Wild pitch advances Hunter to third and Ray to second.
It's the 4th wild pitch on the year for Crow. At times you can see overthrow that slider. Trainer had his body in position to block it, but that spin off the dirt on the breaking ball more difficult to keep in front of you.
Kansas City brings its infield in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball pulled to third. Moustakas from a knee gets that, fires home. Torres in a rundown. And Trainer will tag him out. 2 outs going on contact. Abreu advances to third. The Angels have runners at the corners with 2 outs now, and Kayasco coming up.
Well, he gets a fastball, hits it pretty well, but right at the stock as he gets up, makes the throw to home right away. There is the contact play on with one out for the Angels. So we're able to stay in the rundown long enough to allow Bobby Abreu to get to third base, and you still have that possibility of Crow bouncing a slider and taking the lead on a pitch in the dirt.
Wells reaching on the fielder's choice. Callaspo still looking for his first hit of the homestand. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a breaking ball in the dirt, gets away from Trainer. Here comes Abreu, and the Angels back on top, 6-5.
And that plays into your mind. If you're a young pitcher, you've already had a wild pitch in this inning, 4 already on the season, you overthrow the breaking ball. But Troy did a good enough job to get in a rundown to allow Bobby Abreu to get to third base. Good secondary read into home right away on that ball in the dirt for Bobby Abreu. Gives the Angels the lead here at 6-5.
Wells now at second base. Callaspo the 1-ball, no strike count. Here's the 1-0. Upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Bobby Abreu kind of giving it his all. His veteran status taking hold here on this slide. I mean, this is textbook. And then stay down for a little bit.
Just to make sure everyone knows the plate has been covered. And he scored the run.
Again, looking for that bullpen car to give him a lift back to the dugout. 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Howie Kendrick on deck. And Irvin Santana never smiles.
No, never.
Kind of like a bitter Chinsky all the time. Intentional walk here. That'll put runners at first and second for Howie. Bob McClure's coming out real quick to talk things over with Crow. Showed some pretty good life on the fastball. Good control against Vernon Wells, but all of a sudden kind of into the breaking pitches in the dirt. 2 wild pitches that he's thrown. Unable to spot a fastball against Callaspo. Get an opportunity here against the right-handed batter maybe to get him back on track.
Right. You can tell by a couple of those fastballs that were up and away against Callaspo. He was thinking about those mistakes he made as far as bouncing the breaking ball.
Collins gets charged with that run. 2 guys on base now belong to Crow. Both runners take off, and they had running starts, easily getting in there. And Alberto Callaspo may have pulled his left hamstring.
There's no doubt he's in a lot of discomfort right now.
Remember, as a trail runner, you're just waiting for the lead runner to take off, and then you're going. But the minute that Alberto got to second base, kind of grabbed that left hamstring. Looks like Mark Trumbo will be called upon to be the pinch runner. Trumbo will take over at first. Now he will probably go to second. Izzy will go to third. But Vernon got a running start from second base. Crow not paying any attention to him.
And that's the right decision to make, especially when you know you're comfortable enough to be able to get there to third, especially the guy's already thrown 2 wild pitches.
No balls and a strike on Howie. Kendrick 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. No balls, 2 strikes. Back up the middle, off the foot of Throw, goes to the shortstop, Escobar, the run scores. It is 7-5 Angels as Howie Kendrick picks up an RBI single, his third hit of the game.
Oh, what a nice swing, too, for Howie, defending the count, 0-2. Crow throws that ball too much to the plate, and Howie took advantage of it, hit it up the middle. Fortunately enough, it hit Crow's shoe, or that would have been a 2-run single. He hit that ball well, right back up the middle.
Eric Ibar at the plate. 7th man to bat for the Angels here in the 7th. Trumbo's over at third, the pinch runner. Howie at first. Cued back. No balls in the strike. Eric Ibar 1 for 3, had a triple with 3 runs batted in the second. Scored a run. Popped out and grounded out.
I look back in this inning, taking advantage of Tim Collins, a guy that was throwing the ball so well, but again, he's walked a number of guys so far this season. Get more patient at the plate, get a couple walks, and all of a sudden a 2-run lead for the Angels.
Breaking ball is in for a strike, 0-2. Now the Angels have had 1 hit in this inning. Had 5 guys reach. 3 on walks, 1 on a fielder's choice, and 1 on a single. Everett Tiefer is now loosening, the left-hander. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, missing low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The stolen base by the way of Wells, moving to third. Cayasco, where he got hurt, moving to second. Obviously coming back to help the Angels with that infield single by Howie. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Ibar. His trainer will fire on the first to complete the strikeout. That will end the inning, but the Angels retake the lead. They scored twice on a hit and leave 2 men on. 7 in the books. Palos lead at 7-5. Just comes on as a defensive replacement. That moves Vernon Wells over to the left. So Peter goes in Bobby Abreu's spot in the order. Meister Sturris moves from second over to third. Howie Kendrick moves from first to second. And Mark Trumbo, pinch ran for Alberto Cayasco, stays in the game, and he is at first. Scott Downs, who came on and struck out Mike Moustakas to end the 7th, still in the game, facing Matt Trainer, Chris Getz, Alcides Escobar. The bottom third of the order for Kansas City. Pat Traynor had an RBI single in the 6th inning. That was off of Rich Thompson with the run getting charged to Pinheiro, who again is in the books for a no decision. 6th start, going for win number 100. Could not make it hold up. Ground ball to short. Ibar's got the skimmer. One away.
Nice job by Scott Downs getting that ground ball, getting that lead guy. Start the inning. One throw that 0 up to shut down inning. Your offense responds with 2 manufactured runs.
Chris Getz, a second baseman, 1 for 3. This stirs in on the grass at third. Just missed down low. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one down. 38,911 in the house tonight. Tayo Cruz concert after the game. The Angels second in attendance in the American League behind the New York Yankees, averaging over 38,000. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and two. $38,000 plus almost $39,000, trying to see this 6-game losing streak come to an end. Trying to have the Angels pick up a game in the West with Texas losing earlier tonight. Gets bouncing one right back to the left-hander from Kentucky. 2 outs. Fans, take the Angels with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Angels game live or on demand on your computer as well as your favorite devices. Visit Angels.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Talking about that 6-game losing streak. As a matter of fact, the Angels have not had a 7-game losing streak at home since April 3rd through the 13th, 2002.
Interesting. 2002.
El City's Escobar takes a strike.
That ended up being a pretty good year. Don't you think?
It's a fine vintage.
Yes. I think of the positives. So you not only pick up a game of the Rangers, but everybody else in the division also. Mariners lost and the A's lost tonight.
One ball, 1 strike on Escobar, who's 2 for 2 with a double, a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. Bouncer to third as Sturis comes charging in. It's got Downs. 4 up and 4 down. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the Angels still on top 7-5. They'll send up Russell Brandon, Jeff Mathis, and then Meiser Sturis against new pitcher for Kansas City. It's Everett Tiford pitching now at his 11th game. Made his big league debut on May 17th. No record of 2.16 ERA. He takes over for Aaron Crow, who went 2/3 of it, and he gave up a run on a hit. Had a strikeout and 1 intentional walk.
Tiford, this 8 1/3 innings pitch, been pretty solid, but he has given up 2 home runs. Of course, also 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. So making some mistakes over the middle part of the plate has been an issue for him already, although he's been pretty solid with a good ERA.
Tiford, a Georgia native, 12th round pick in 2006. A sidearm slinger from the left side. Branyan takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Russell Branyan tonight. He's 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts and 1 walk. Loops one in the air to shallow center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Branyan gets in on the hit parade. 9th hit for the Angels tonight. Giving him a 1 for 3 night. Here comes Jeff Mathis. He's 0 for 3.
Seeing Mathis up there to bunt to advance Branyan in the scoring position.
Mathis, a couple of strikeouts, a ground out. Stockton in on the grass at third base.
A lot of times that's a design play from the manager to have that throw over the first to see if the batter will square around the bunt. Mathis didn't give that indication.
One ball, no strikes. Mathis pushes it foul on the first base shot. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tiford ready. And the 1-1. Mathis takes down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kansas City with 5 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors, 7 left on. The Angels 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 6 left on. Mathis takes way inside. 3 balls and a strike. That's one of those pitches, too, that as a hitter, sometimes you forget to bring the bat back with you because you're trying to avoid getting hit by a pitch.
Exactly. You leave that bat out there, and the umpire has no choice but to call it a strike because you haven't brought it back. See Mike Scioscia take away the bunt here, more of a hit and run. Good count, 3-1, going to get a fastball.
A full count now. Mathis pulls it foul. Branyan not running. Another 3-2. Mathis fouls it back. Jordan Walden getting loose. very close to being done down in the bullpen. He'll be coming on in the ninth. He'll be facing the top of the order for Kansas City, Gordon, Cabrera, Hosmer. As the Angels trying to get an insurance run. Mathis lifting on the air to left. Alex Gordon is there. There's out number one.
Yeah, Victor, you mentioned him getting loose down there, Jordan Wall. That's the thing for a young closer, to be able to figure out exactly when you're warm enough. You don't want to overthrow down there and keep throwing that fastball, wasting some good pitches. You get loose, get yourself in position where, okay, then all of a sudden you just one throw every 4 or 5 pitches by the opponent to get yourself in position to go out there and close the game up.
Here's Mysura Stirs, 0 for 3, but did have a sacrifice fly to second. Slow curveball from Teaford, misses down and in. Teaford, 27 years of age. 2-1 record and 3.04 ERA at AAA as he misses down low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Good numbers as far as strikeout to walk in. 24 punch out, 6 walks. 26 and 2/3 innings down to AAA before getting the call on May 17th. Branyan takes off. The throw is high, and Russell Branyan has himself a stolen base. Kind of caught everybody off guard.
Second stolen base of the season. High throw by Trainer into second base. Brandon's going on a 2-0 count. Successfully gets into scoring position.
2-1 count now for Stirs. Meister looping one to second, has it. They fire to second, and Branyan just like that is doubled up. 8 in the books. We head to the ninth. Here comes Waldo. Angels up 7-5. Jordan Walden's in the game. 7-5 Halos here in the ninth. Jordan coming on to face the top of the order for Kansas City. 0-1 record, a 2.96 ERA, but Jordan with 13 saves. 27 in the third innings. He has allowed 22 hits. He has struck out 29 and walked 13.
He's been very good as far as commanding the strike zone with that first pitch. The fastball has been effective. He's worked with Mike Butcher also as far as tightening up those mechanics.
Jordan worked 1 inning, scoreless relief in Wednesday's 10th inning loss to the Tampa Bay Rays. Struck out a man. Alex Gordon, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer. 3 straight left-handed batters, Melky Cabrera being a switch hitter. Alex Gordon tonight 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs, a walk, and a strikeout. Fastball is in for strike one. Get it over fastball at 98.
He had a spot in the zone.
Breaking pitch lined into center field. The leadoff man is on board, going with a breaking pitch. Kind of surprising.
Especially after that first pitch was so effective at 98, right on the outside corner.
So Melky Cabrera steps to the plate now with nobody out and Gordon at first. No 1. Cabrera 2 for 3. Strikeout, walk, 2 singles, and an RBI. The RBI his 40th of the year, now tied with Jeff Francoeur for the team lead.
Another good fastball there. 98, 97, 98 so far in this at bat.
Defensive swing there is looped foul into the seats on the third base side, so the count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. The Halos getting 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning on 1 hit. Tim Collins walking 2 guys with 1 out. Aaron Crow delivering a couple of wild pitches. Howie Kendrick with an infield base hit. Pulled over to first, under the glove of Trumbo, and it trickles down the line. Gordon's going to advance to third. Melky Cabrera in at second. So the tying runs now in scoring position.
Look, another slider. Trumbo comes off the base. Just off the glove by Mark Trumbo.
Here carries out Eric Hosmer, 0 for 4. 2 double play balls. Swinging through a fastball there. No balls and a strike. The fastball has been somewhat effective. This slider has not. The first 2 batters. Gordon with a base hit to center field. Melky Cabrera with a double underneath the glove. Mark Trumbo, 0-2.
Again, the reason why that slider could be ineffective against these lefties here, because the fastball is so firm that you speed up the bat by throwing the slider.
Got him swinging. Down goes Hosmer, 1 out.
We're talking about a clutch strikeout. 3 fastballs in a row up the ladder. Mathis wanted that pitch up. He receives that fastball at 98. 4-seam fastball, good running action on there too.
Jeff Francoeur at the plate. 1 for 4, had a single back in the 7th. Fouls off the first fastball. It's no balls and a strike. Missing outside. Evens the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon with a leadoff base hit to center. Cabrera with a double, putting runners at second and third. Hosmer with a strikeout. 1-1 pitch. Outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Billy Butler on deck. Frank Gore helping Walden there. It would have been ball 3. Instead, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that pitch was not even close to the outside corner. Trying to speed up the bat to try to catch up to that 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looks like Frank Gore just trying to flip one into right field. Not an easy task with a pitch off the plate in the upper 90s. Got him swinging. Down goes Frank Gore. 2 outs.
Boy, great spot. Think of that same turn, because when you see a hitter trying to protect mode, look away, trying to fight it away, you run that fastball inside and underneath the hands. No chance to catch up to that cheese.
Mike Butcher out to pay a visit quickly here with Billy Butler at the plate. You don't see this too often with a closer on the mound.
So after back-to-back punch-outs, granted that third out is the most difficult one, but you're in a pretty good rhythm.
I mean, the discussion can't be to pitch around Butler to get the Moustakas. I mean, I'm trying to understand what the conversation would be in this scenario. Scouting report on Billy Butler certainly hasn't changed much.
He's an inside-out hitter.
Don't forget, Billy Butler had that walk-off home run. Had to be reviewed in Kansas City, but 0 for 1. Brief meeting with Jordan Walden. Fastball in for strike 1.
Well, that fastball had some serious life to it at 99.
Butler 2 for 3, 2 singles, a ground out, which intentionally walked in the 7th. Lifted in the air, foul down the right field line. No balls, 2 strikes. Just up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, that didn't miss by a whole lot. Mathis set the target up high. Wanted to elevate that fastball, but that didn't miss by a lot. On our Fox tracks, it didn't miss.
One-two. Missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was just a 100-mile-an-hour fastball just off the corner. Took a shot at that same pitch.
Full count now. The rookie Mike Moustakas on deck. Payoff pitch. Lifted in the air to right. Playable for Torrey Hunter. This should snap the 6-game losing streak. Light that baby up as the Angels take game 2 against Kansas City by the final of 7-5. Scott Downs, who comes in and works an inning in the 3rd of scoreless relief, ends up picking up the victory. Tim Collins for Kansas City takes the loss, and Jordan Walden notches his 14th save. Again, the Angels snap their losing streak at 6 games. They win at 7-5. For Mark Gubicza and the entire crew here at the Big A, I'm Victor Rojas. We thank you for watching. We invite you to stick around for Angels Live, because it's coming up next.